Good morning from our seats of government in Michigan and Washington. Joining us today will be two high-ranking statewide elected officials to address major policy changes and actions coming out of the new administration in leadership in the White House. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel and U.S. Senator Nessel And Slotkin will be my guests and share their perspective. It's Sunday, February the 23rd. I'm Chuck Stokes, and this is Spotlight. I know you're very, very busy. We're going to jump right into it. Most recently, you've joined 19 other state attorney generals in an amicus brief challenging President Donald Trump and his executive order to suspend the U.S. refugee resettlement program. Why? Do you believe this is just bad policy, or do you believe it's illegal, or both?
Well, we believe it's both, right? You know, we have a long-standing history, not just in Michigan, but across the country, of assisting and aiding in individuals who are fleeing very difficult circumstances. Sometimes these individuals were placed into dangerous circumstances because of their work with the United States government. And one of the examples of that, of course, are the Afghani refugees that actually worked with our military overseas and now are in grave peril and danger due to the Taliban. So these are programs that were established that work with the federal government, that work with the state of Michigan, that are funded in part by the federal government. And these, of course, are negotiated grants that are relied upon by these agencies and by these refugees. And I want to make it clear to everybody, these refugees are here in our state, in our country, 100% legally. They are not undocumented. They are people who are carefully vetted.
Madam Attorney General, any idea, roughly percentage-wise, of Michigan's population would be made up of these new immigrants?
Well, we know about 10% of the workforce here in Michigan is comprised of migrants. But specifically in Michigan, we have about $6.7 billion in state and local taxes that are paid for by immigrant populations. And we know that we have thousands and thousands of refugees that are here in the United States, again, completely legally. And then suddenly, without any warning and with any effort to renegotiate grants or contracts, are just suddenly terminated. And we don't know why. And we don't know what the benefit is to Michigan residents or to anybody in the United States as a result of ending these really successful programs.
This amicus brief includes states that are politically both red states, blue states, and some purple states. Are all of the AGs Democrats, or do you have a mixture of Republican and Democratic AGs?
Unfortunately, I think what we've seen many times in the past several weeks of these filings is that even when you have states that are represented by a Republican AG, and those states are being harmed in really significant ways, Republicans, whether they are attorneys general, whether they are members of Congress, seem to be very afraid to push back against Donald Trump and his very dangerous sometimes
Why do you think that is?
Because he frequently threatens to find people to primary Republicans who refuse to go along with whatever his plans are. And if I can give you an example of this, right? The National Institute of Health case that Michigan helped to lead in the last few weeks, right? Literally overnight, Michigan was going to lose well over $200 million in life-saving, life-preserving medical research grants. But it wasn't just Michigan, of course. And so you had places like Alabama, where the University of Alabama is the biggest employer for the state of Alabama. And Senator Katie Britt, she very privately, it was said, had some very deep concerns about what that would mean for her state. But she didn't want to come out publicly to criticize the president because she was so afraid of what would happen to her career. And this is a real problem. Medicare, SNAP, Meals on Wheels, funding FEMA programs. These are essential programs for blue and red states alike. And what we know, of course, is that for a lot of these red states, they are states that receive more in the way of federal funding for benefits than they pay. We're not suggesting that there shouldn't be some sort of a review or evaluation, but it has to be done in a thoughtful and measured way. We just saw a number of instances where Doge and Elon Musk, of course, with the blessing of the president, fired thousands and thousands of federal workers, workers that were working for the CDC combating bird flu, or from the Department of Energy that were ensuring that our nuclear reactors were functioning safely. Uh, and you know, shortly later, they were like, oh, our bad. We really actually needed those people. And then there was an effort to try to recall those workers that had just been terminated, and they couldn't even reach those people. I mean, this is really dangerous stuff. And we know that we have very sensitive, private personal information like our bank accounts and our social security numbers, that are simply being data mined and provided to somebody who's never been nominated for any federal cabinet position, never been confirmed by the Senate, and we don't even know who many of these people are. It's a very dangerous set of circumstances.
All right, Madam Attorney General, we need to get to a quick little break. We'll come right back with a few more questions right after this. And welcome back to Spotlight, talking to the 54th Attorney General for the state of Michigan, Dana Nessel, from our own backyard right here in Southeast Michigan. Madam Attorney General, you have said on occasion, I'll keep fighting for justice, fairness, and accountability. What do you say to people who say you and other state attorney generals challenging the president on his executive orders and what he's trying to do with Elon Musk is just sour grapes, in that you are trying to block a Republican president, your president didn't win, and you're trying to throw all these roadblocks in. He's doing what he campaigned on and what he got reelected on.
Well, Chuck, I completely acknowledge, of course, that Donald Trump is the duly elected president of the United States. He won the majority of electoral votes and the popular vote, and he won the state of Michigan by some 80,000 votes. And he does have the right to promote the policies that he ran on. But like every president, since 1803, when Marbury v. Madison was issued by the United States Supreme Court, the actions of the executive branch are subject to judicial rule, and presidents have to comport themselves to the law. They can't violate federal law. They can't violate the United States Constitution. But Donald Trump doesn't seem to understand that. And he doesn't care whether or not, for instance, Congress is a part of the actions that he's taking. And of course, this is a flagrant violation of the separation of powers, the fact that you have a president that thinks that he can make law simply by signing an executive order. That's not how laws are made. Laws have to go through Congress. We have two chambers of the legislative branch. In one fell swoop, President Trump decides by signing an executive order, he is going to end birthright citizenship, which has been around in our country for more than 125 years. It's actually written in black and white into the United States Constitution. It's a very lengthy process to,
and that's been held up by a U.S. federal court of appeals judge. Does that give you hope that the Constitution and the branches of government are indeed working and we still have democracy very much in place?
I mean, that's the hope, right? But here's the real issue. Even though so many of these cases that we've been filing, the Democratic attorneys general have been successful in stopping some of the worst things from occurring. The problem is that you have an executive branch where the president, the vice president, and of course, Elon Musk have all said that they may not obey or comply with court orders. They've said it multiple times. They've suggested that judges that rule against them should be impeached or removed from the bench. So my concern is there will come a day in the near future where Donald Trump just says, I'm not going to comply with court orders. And we know that we have a United States Supreme Court that has essentially granted him immunity from criminal prosecution. So I am concerned, while I think that we're going to continue to win a lot of these cases where the executive branch and Donald Trump acts illegally and outside the boundaries of the law and the Constitution, my concern is going to be that he is not going to comply with those orders, and that will create a constitutional crisis in the United States.
Two quick final questions. Do you, as the chief law enforcement officer for this state, do you, and someone who's an experienced member of the bar, do you have trust in the United States Supreme Court?
I certainly hope that when push comes to shove, they're going to do the right thing, and to, ensure that we have a country where we maintain three separate co-equal branches of government, and that the executive branch is kept in check, because that's the only thing that stops us from having a king versus what the founders of our country intended, which was to have a president. And when you have too much authority in any one branch of government, then you have a grave disparity, which really threatens, the fabric of our democracy.
Attorney General Nessel, time's always our worst enemy. Quick final question. The Chief Justice of the Michigan Supreme Court, Elizabeth Clement, announced that she's going to step down in April. That will give Governor Whitmer a chance to make another appointment. Any interest whatsoever in that job? Would you consider leaving your current job for that job if the governor said, I'd like to appoint you to it?
Well, I've not heard from the governor about it. I will tell you that I think losing Chief Justice Clement is a real blow to the court. I think she was a really insightful justice. I'm pretty happy with my day job, which is the job that I ran for, that the voters elected me to serve a 4-year term to, and I have no plans to leave.
All right, you're not ruling it out. I don't hear a clear, I have absolutely no interest in that job, and if the governor were to want to appoint me to that job, then I might say yes.
I have absolutely no interest in that job, and if the governor were to appoint me, I would say no.
All right, it doesn't get any clearer than that. Attorney General Dana Nessel, thanks so much for joining us today on Spotlight. We'll stay in touch.
Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. And coming up, we'll have a conversation with U.S. Senator Nessel And Slotkin. We'll be right back. Senator Slotkin, thanks for joining us, zooming in from Washington. You're doing okay?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Very good. I know you're on a tight schedule, so we'll just jump right in. Businessman Elon Musk, with the support of President Trump, has fired, laid off, whatever term you're most comfortable with, thousands of federal workers. How has this been able to happen so quickly when the last time I checked the Constitution, Congress holds the power of the purse? And is that the crux of this amicus brief that you've just filed with several of your Democratic colleagues?
Yeah, I think, look, every president has the right to look at the federal government and make changes, nominate their own people. I've seen others come in and even cut the government. So it's not that he doesn't have the right to do it. I think it's the scale and the sort of broad approach that has taken everyone by surprise. Not to mention cutting off a lot of federal programs that states like Michigan and otherwise really depend on. There's a bunch of lawsuits across the country. Our Attorney General has a number of them. A lot of them are also about the access to personal data that Elon Musk and his Doge folks have. Access to taxpayer data, to Medicare data. We're concerned now about veterans data and active duty military data. What kind of backdoors is he putting on that data? These are the kinds of things that have really prompted a lot of the lawsuits, in addition to some of the indiscriminate firing and laying off of people who are focused on our security.
President Trump will say, I'm just doing what I said I was going to do on the campaign trail. I'm cleaning out the House. I'm cleaning up Washington. We have an $840 billion federal deficit. How are we going to ever get it in control if I don't go in with a meat axe?
There's fat on the bone, and I don't question the president's ability to go after that. But what we're seeing is the firing of people who are working on things like avian flu, the firing of people who are doing, clinical trials with very sick children with cancer, the firing of people who are testing our water, that kind of thing. That I just think, people are happy with it when it's in theory, but the chickens are going to come home to roost when it comes to our safety and our security. So I think take a scalpel to it instead of a sledgehammer, and we're on the same page. That's not what's happening. And certainly access to taxpayer data is well beyond any mandate that the president has.
Senator Slotkin, you've expressed concerns over Elon Musk and his relationship and the impact it may have on jobs here in Michigan, particularly the auto industry. What exactly concerns you the most?
Mr. Musk, obviously, everyone knows that Tesla is built largely and the pieces are produced largely in China. He has a lot of deals with the Chinese government, and he has been urging them now, since Trump was sworn in, to move to Mexico, to buy factories in Mexico and use NAFTA, use this trade deal that Trump renegotiated in his first term, to just start flooding the United States with Chinese parts, even with Chinese cars. And I got to tell you, I feel very strongly that for national security reasons and economic security reasons, I don't want Chinese parts and Chinese cars coming into the United States. They're like traveling intelligence collection vehicles, right? And I don't want people knowing, data about our country, about our citizens. So I think his interests and our interests in Michigan are very different when it comes to the role of China in our manufacturing sector. And that to me is the most threatening thing.
All right, we need to take a real quick break. We'll come right back with a few more questions with Senator Slotkin right after this. When you look at what's potentially happening domestically, are we at risk of secrets and other sensitivities getting out that people would not want out?
I don't know if I'm concerned that secrets are going to get out. I'm worried that missions aren't going to be performed. Right now, DOJ is looking at the Pentagon, looking at the intelligence community, and looking to make cuts. I just know firsthand that those are the people in the middle of the night when Americans are sleeping who go after terrorists and other entities who are looking to harm American citizens. Most Americans have no idea how many plots against us happen on a weekly basis and how many are taken care of because the intelligence community, our military, are dealing with those threats abroad so that they never come here. And then you think about domestic terrorism. We just had 2 incidents over the Christmas time period in New Orleans and in Las Vegas. You need people protecting us.
Is our Federal Aviation Administration and people flying in airplanes, is that at risk right now, or is that just much ado about nothing?
To hear from, folks who work in the state of Michigan, but for the FAA, who are calling me and saying, I just got a letter saying that I should take this buyout. I'm a flight safety instructor, and I teach people at, the Detroit airport. And if the whole idea is that I take the buyout and then they don't hire someone behind me. I am just not in a place where I think we need fewer flight safety instructors, fewer air traffic control folks. They're doing yeoman's work. And right now there's clearly something going on. So this is what I mean, is that people are all for cutting the government until it affects their flight that they're on, their family. And that's why leaders have a special responsibility in this moment.
We have something here that we're very proud of that you know a lot about. It's called the University Corridor. University of Michigan, Michigan State, Wayne State University, 3 of the largest public institutions and 3 of the most respected. They do a tremendous amount of research. Are you hearing from their leaders that they are potentially being impacted by these cuts in terms of the type of research that they do, which have given them the names that these institutions have throughout decades?
Every university in the state right now is kind of doing their action plan to deal with the cuts that they hear are coming. That's going to affect how many students they bring in, how many faculty they bring in, but also, more importantly, like making sure that the United States is always the international leader for inventing the brand new thing, right? I was hearing from University of Michigan researchers about the cuts, and they're like, look, our closest competitor is China. So if you want to know who's going to be making the next groundbreaking drug, it's going to be China. I don't want that. I don't want to have to beg, borrow, and steal from the Chinese to get that information. I don't want their government doing the checking on the standards for those new drugs. I want them made here. And I think that's what's at risk for our universities.
Do you feel confident that our U.S. judicial system, as it now stands, will be able to protect the balance of power as all of these various amicus briefs are in front of them?
We're going to find out. I mean, I think it's fair to say that, there are court orders that are coming down every other day. The administration is observing some and not others. And I know that some of these cases will be, fast tracked to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will have to decide. They're strict, many of them strict constitutionalists. Do they believe in the division of powers, the three branches of government? Do they believe that the president can do anything he wants, even when Congress has a role in the Constitution, as do the courts? We're going to find out here, but it's definitely a historic moment in our country's history, that's for sure.
Quick final question, and then we'll let you go. President Trump has called Ukraine's President Zelensky a dictator. President Zelensky has said, quote unquote, President Trump is living in a disinformation space governed by Moscow. Who's right?
I mean, look, Vladimir Putin invaded Ukraine. Ukraine was a sitting democracy. Putin went in. And to me, this feels very much reminiscent to the Cold War, when it was the United States and the Soviet Union, and they were encroaching on democratic states. Ronald Reagan must be rolling over in his grave right now, watching the way that Trump is cozying up to Putin. And I understand we have to make a deal on Ukraine. We know that this war can't go on forever. I support that conversation. But the way that he's just cozying up to Putin, and talking about Zelensky being the aggressor when his country was invaded, it's just, to me, again, a break with 80 years of history, and also kind of a break from Republican principles that I always knew of. I always think of Republicans as very, stern and hawkish on pushing back against dictators, and this is the exact opposite.
All right. Senator, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Chuck Stokes. We'll be back next week with more newsmakers in the spotlight. We hope you have a good week, and thank you once again, sir.